The following voices are AI generated. We hope you enjoy the video.
Welcome, welcome, one and all, to the most epic, most unexpected, and quite possibly most chaotic celebration in the history of the multiverse. That's right, folks. We're not just celebrating one wedding tonight. Oh, no! We're celebrating the union of Adventure Era, Sonic, the Hedgehog, and Amy Rose. Tails Prower and Cream the Rabbit, and their incredible alternate universe counterparts from where I'm from, the 4Kids Era. It's a triple wedding, a multiversal masterpiece, and the perfect backdrop for a WrestleMania 41 review.
Now, you might be wondering who's going to help us break down the biggest wrestling event of the year amidst all this matrimonial madness. Well, we brought in the experts, or rather the experts' multiversal counterparts.
First up, give a warm wedding reception. Welcome to us, 4Kids Chaotix. We've got Vector, our investigative leader with a booming voice and even bigger opinions. Espio, the ninja detective, observing every detail. And me, Charmy, the resident buzzing ball of energy and pure unadulterated hype.
You know it! Ready to lay down the law on this WrestleMania? This cake is pretty good, too!
The subtle nuances of professional wrestling are not unlike a complex mystery I'm prepared to deduce.
To quote the Big Show, WrestleMania, baby! Woo! Now that I got that out of my system, did you see that one guy do that thing? It was awesome!
We got some last-minute guests, guys. I think they finally made their first proper appearance in the channel. It's the current/meta era Chaotix.
A pleasure. 4Kids, Knuckles. One must approach such a grand spectacle with a discerning eye.
And I thought Charmy was the only one talking strange. The kinetic energy flow was fascinating.
My voice constantly cracks, and both Vector and Espio sound British. But the event's narrative structure, the character arcs, were quite compelling.
Just to let you know, everyone from the 4Kids Era will review Night 1 while the current crew will be reviewing Night 2.
You know I always wanted to review WWE events. I thought it would be good timing for my crew reviewing the newer events and maybe even the ones from the past 15 years.
The 2010s is still my favorite decade of pro wrestling since it has so many new young stars in the making and a lot of surprises compared to the previous decades.
Let's not waste any more time. The Adventure Era brides and grooms are on the dance floor, but we've got a pay-per-view to dissect.
Yeah, let's kick things off with Night 1 of WrestleMania 41. What were your initial thoughts? Who stole the show? Who needed to go back to the drawing board?
Night 1 felt like it didn't have a solid foundation, you know? Weak energy! The opener, that was a real disappointment. Jey Uso made Gunther submit to his own sleeper hold. But I gotta say, that one match, El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix, tisk tisk, felt a little flat. Like a deflated party balloon, like Espio would say.
Oh, that one move! When Tiffany Stratton did the prettiest moonsault ever to Charlotte Flair, my jaw hit the floor. I totally cheered so loud, I could have scared the ring announcer if I were in the show.
The pacing was largely ineffective for a first night. However, the United States Championship match between LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu was enjoyable as the Samoan Werewolf dominated the match and won the title.
I concur with the assessment of the entirety of Night 1. It established a compelling precedent. However, the first 3 matches of the evening, Jey Uso versus Gunther, The New Day versus the War Raiders, and Jade Cargill versus Naomi, lacked the thematic depth I'd anticipated. One might even describe it as superficial.
The synchronicity of certain performers was exemplary. Everyone gave it their all, but what makes a wrestling match awesome is having good chemistry, a balanced story, and the vibe of the audience in Las Vegas. Too bad the crowd wasn't so loud or crazy like the European crowds.
I gotta be honest, I was hyped for Night 1. Like, really hyped, but
It just felt okay. After all the build-up, all the promos, I expected more fireworks from the start. Some matches felt like they were just there.
Too much commercials and product placement and not enough smashing. I wanted to see some real brawls and not those filler matches with products plastered everywhere. My patience was tested.
Hyped is an understatement. I had mine and Amy's diamonds polished, my finest purple dress ready. And then, the opening half felt like waiting for a delayed flight. Where was the sparkle?
Expectations were significantly inflated. The early matches lacked the strategic depth and intensity one would anticipate from a marquee event. What a letdown.
Statistically, the first few hours indicated a lower than average excitement metric based on crowd decibel levels. The narrative progression was sluggish, to say the least.
See? They all feel it. It was like a slow build for a party that was supposed to kick off the moment the doors open.
Yeah, I almost fell asleep during one of them. Luckily, Amy woke me up with an air horn. Hey, you gotta bring the energy. I know you couldn't miss Tiffany Stratton.
So it sounds like the consensus for the majority of Night 1 is, it didn't quite live up to the WrestleMania hype, but there was one match that truly stood out, wasn't there?
Oh, but then, that main event. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk in a triple threat. That was the real WrestleMania. Thanks for reminding us, Blaze.
Absolutely. From the moment CM Punk's theme song hit, the energy changed. You could feel it. And the storytelling in that match was incredible.
Now that was a fight. 3 guys, all trying to prove they were the best. And Punk, after all that time, he finally got his moment. His dream of main eventing WrestleMania. You could feel the passion.
Darling, the drama. The sheer, unadulterated drama. CM Punk, finally in a WrestleMania main event, and against those 2 titans, it was cinematic, pure gold.
The triple threat was an anomaly in an otherwise mediocre evening. Punk's performance was adequate. His perseverance, however, was notable. He earned his opportunity.
The crowd response for Punk's entrance alone registered off the charts. And the fluidity of the exchanges in the match. The near falls. The strategic targeting of each competitor. It was a masterclass in controlled ruckus. A true main event.
That's what I'm talking about! That match was the saving grace! That's the kind of intensity you want from WrestleMania!
The culmination of a protracted narrative arc. Punk's participation elevated the match beyond mere competition into a historical event. The execution was, dare I say, flawless given the variables.
Just seeing CM Punk at WrestleMania again made me cheer so loud my head buzzed. Too bad he lost to Seth Rollins thanks to Paul Heyman betraying both Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Seth Rollins is now a Paul Heyman guy.
And that was Night 1 of WrestleMania 41, a so-and-so event with an epic main event. Now that we got that out, we better clean up the mess at this wedding party.
We've stayed long enough. Amy and I will take our limo and go off on our honeymoon.
Carry me, Sonic! My feet are hurting again, and I could really use a massage when we go. We'll see you all later, and let the Meta Crew finish the review.
You heard the hedgehogs. I will fly to the ceiling of the tent and get rid of the gunk.
I'll burn all the cardboard and trash while everyone else just grabs bags. By the way, the Dreamcast crew and everyone else left before the video started. Carry on, Meta Era crew.
Nice! We get to relax and review Night 2!
I'm pretty sure we'll have to help out cleaning up after the review, Charmy.
And in the meantime, we've got Night 2, and it's a lot better than expected. This is how Night 1 should have been.
Night 2. Now that's what I'm talking about. So much action. Super fast moves. Awesome stunts, right, Amy?
Yeah, a lot of matches were just so exciting. The energy was through the roof. It felt like a real grand finale.
The spatial awareness exhibited by many of the athletes was truly impressive. Their ability to adapt and maneuver within the ring, fascinating. I felt a sense of hope for the future of combat sports.
The execution of various maneuvers was precise. There was a clear narrative progression in many of the contests, culminating in satisfying conclusions. It actually felt complete.
There were so many shiny lights and loud noises, but it all seemed to be part of a plan. A really big, exciting, not an alien invasion plan, I think.
The overall quality of performance was elevated. The stakes felt genuinely higher. A more efficient use of talent was evident. The opening match, which was a triple threat for the Women's World Championship, was a show stealer.
There were some good knockouts, and the match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre was rightfully violent. Same with the fatal four-way Intercontinental title bout. Solid brawling, much better than the other night.
The aesthetics were much improved, Knucklehead. The costumes, the presentation, far more dazzling. And some of those grapples were positively daring.
Indeed. The kinetic energy flow was optimal for sustained audience engagement. The narrative threads were largely resolved with satisfying denouements. TNA World Champion Joe Hendry made a surprise appearance and lost a match against Randy Orton.
Amy, from the 4Kids era, really rubbed off her French to you, Vector. Anyway, the intricate choreography was evident in several contests. The precision of each strike and counter-strike indicated extensive preparation and natural aptitude. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul was excellent, but the douchebag Logan Paul won.
The overall pacing was significantly improved. The audience felt more connected to the emotional arcs of the performers.
Wow, so a much more positive overall vibe for night 2. Sounds like it really delivered on the spectacle and action. But there always seems to be a but at WrestleMania, isn't there? What about the main event? John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship.
Oh man, that one! I was so ready for it. Cody had so much momentum, Cena's a legend, but it just ended so flat.
It's so anticlimactic. Like after all that build-up, it just kind of sputtered out. I wanted a huge emotional finish, not that.
From a predictive standpoint, the outcome was surprising in its simplicity. The emotional payoff was significantly lower than the narrative investment. It felt incomplete.
The performance itself lacked the intensity expected of a WrestleMania main event. The conflict did not escalate to the dramatic peak one would anticipate for such a significant championship.
Maybe it was an alien mind control ray to make us think it was boring so we wouldn't notice the real main event happening somewhere else.
The resolution was inefficient. A prolonged narrative requires a more decisive and impactful conclusion. It undermined the perceived gravity of the title.
I kept waiting for the big finish, the big moment, and then it just kinda ended. What was even the point of all that hype if it was gonna be like that?
Sugar, for a main event, it lacked the necessary sparkle. One expects a diamond and we received a very plain pebble.
The perceived narrative climax of the event regrettably failed to meet the established parameters for emotional catharsis. The resolution felt insufficient, like Shadow said.
The strategic choices made in the final minutes were perplexing. The culmination did not align with optimal crowd engagement metrics or traditional storytelling arcs.
I was so pumped up, and then, poof! All the energy just went away! It was like the party ended too soon!
Despite John Cena winning his 17th world title thanks to an interference from Travis Scott, it's an overall strong night 2. The main event between John Cena and Cody Rhodes was a definite letdown for this group. It seems sometimes, even at WrestleMania, the biggest match can fall short of expectations.
So, summing it all up, WrestleMania 41 is in the books. 2 nights of incredible action. What's the final multiversal verdict from our chaotic stream and the others?
From a critical standpoint, WrestleMania 41 provided ample material for discourse. While not without its structural imperfections, its overall impact on the sporting entertainment landscape is undeniable. And these multiversal unions, a profound societal experiment.
The data acquired from this event will be invaluable. The crowd reactions, the physiological responses of the athletes all contribute to a comprehensive understanding of human interaction with high-stakes spectacle. Also, the catering is quite efficient. Tell the humans from Arundel they did well with the food.
I still can't believe all the universes merged, coupled with the shows of pro wrestling, creating a unique socio-cultural phenomenon. There's so many possibilities of the multiverse. Plus, the bridal gowns were quite exquisite.
All right, team. Great party. But the portal rings are calling! Time to get back to our own dimensions and keep those bad guys from ruining the fun.
It was so cool seeing everyone, but we've got some exploring to do. See you all around.
Now that our versions of the hedgehogs went out, we should help the 4Kids crew clean up the mess now that the wedding party is finished and the review is over.
We forgot to mention that this summer is going to be packed with WWE events, so maybe we should do more reviews soon.
The 3 wedded couples will have their honeymoon, while the rest of the 4Kids and adventure crews will take a little vacation while we will do more reviews.
Go ahead and give this video a like, comment, favorite, and share.
Hit the bell icon so you'll be notified on the latest videos. So many of them will be on the way. Check out the rest of the videos as well.
And spread the word. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to Juan CL on YouTube.
Stick around and stay tuned for more videos. More wrestling content and movie reviews will be coming. We'll see you all later. Peace out and rock on.
Meanwhile...
Hello! It's nice to see you. The wrestling review was quite something, wasn't it? All those slams and shouts, it made us Bigs a little nervous, but each of the Sonics and the others seemed to enjoy it. I'm the current Big, and I'm 4Kids Big. You'll see me in a handful of videos, and don't worry, I won't overstay my welcome. And I'm Dreamcast / Adventure Big. Fishing is much more peaceful. Just me, the water, and maybe a nibble or two. It's good to just be.
All right, freeze frame, slowpokes. The main event is here.
You thought that was it. Please, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, this whole chill vibe, consider it canceled.
You 3 fluffies, get out of here. This ain't nap time.
Excuse us? We were just...
Time for the trash heap, kiddies!
Listen up, you jubronis. The old regime is out.
Yeah, those blue blur freaks and their goofy friends, they had their 15 minutes.
Now you're gonna get real wrestling analysis. The kind with attitude, the kind with style.
We're no longer just the Babylon Rogues. We are the BRWO, the Babylon Rogues World Order. And we are here to tell you that the era of polite reviews is over. From now on, you're gonna get speed, you're gonna get sass, and you're gonna get the truth. So if you want to talk about power bombs and pile drivers with the real top guys,
the ones with the superior air gun,
oh, and the ones who ain't afraid to throw a cat or 3,
then you better be ready
for the revolution.
Hey yo, Chico, let's spray paint those badass cats' backs as a tag message.
I think I threw them so hard they're unconscious. We're the BRWO for life.
We did our part. I've gone Hollywood, Wave and Storm are the outsiders, and we'll expand our gang soon. There, these fat cats are now stamped with our IP. For real, we'll be in more wrestling reviews. Peace out and rock on. Too sweet.
This has been Juan CL Productions. The end.